Kalina Majercak is the Advocacy Manager of AAUW National Office based in Washington, D.C. At AAUW, Kalina manages grassroots advocacy and cultivation of AAUW 2-Minute Activist Network. She supports our state AAUW efforts by holding monthly meetings of state public policy chairs and assisting with action alerts requested by the states. She helped us with a statewide alert for this Public Policy Day. Kalina also leads AAUW's National Voter Engagement Campaign, which is extremely important. In her previous role as policy associate, Kalina supported the policy and member advocacy team, as well as AAUW's global initiatives and engagement with the United Nations. Kalina holds a BA in Sociology and Women's and Gender Studies from Georgetown University. Welcome, Kalina.
Thank you so much, Nancy, and to Darcy and Sue and the AAUW of Colorado team, and to all of you for having me here today to join such amazing speakers. It's really great to be here with you all. I also want to thank you all for your feedback on the AAUW public policy priorities for 2025-27, and note that you will have the opportunity to review and vote on the final version in April. So we saw the 119th Congress and new administration begin with a flurry of actions that seek to roll back anti-discrimination protections, dismantle programs that advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, exclude transgender, intersex, and non-binary people from accessing education and healthcare, and much more. And I think it will be really important to recognize where rhetoric is intended to cause fear and confusion and where there's policy impact, and to center the communities that are affected. At National, our core pillars of education, economic security, and civil rights have not changed. Our approach will be more defensive in adapting to the current federal landscape, but we're also committed to pushing proactively for progress where we see opportunities. We're staying focused and intentional in order to be most impactful, so you won't see National responding to everything that members of Congress or President Trump do. But we're really evaluating and tapping into where we have grassroots strength with AAUW members and advocates across the country. And we're really continuing to work closely in coalition to be coordinated and most effective in our advocacy. And here in DC, our dedicated Lobby Corps members have already begun advocating to Congress on Capitol Hill with their first day opposing the nomination of Linda McMahon to Secretary of Education. So we've seen there have been an increasing number of attacks on education at all levels, including a trend in the states to attack diversity and equity and inclusion in higher education. And at the federal level, we've seen rollbacks of the 2024 inclusive Title IX rules, threats to undercut the Department of Education, and more. So at National, our team is really focused on that higher education piece, and that includes access to, success in, and completion of higher education for women. And equitable access to higher education means making college more affordable on the front end, including strengthening programs like federal Pell Grants that support low-income students. And for students to be successful in schools, they need a safe, inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination where they're respected and feel seen. And so we're continuing to advocate for vigorous enforcement of the laws and rules that protect and strengthen student civil rights. And for working students and pregnant and parenting students in particular, we need pay equity, paid family and medical leave, affordable childcare, and reproductive rights and healthcare to support students in completing their education and beyond when they enter the workforce. And importantly, freedom from violence and ending violence against women has always been a part of AAUW public policy priorities and continues to be. So our team will be focusing on how women are being impacted by violence in schools, including with rollbacks of Title IX rules that had strengthened protections for student survivors of sexual harassment and assault. And we're also, of course, looking to the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act in 2026. Lastly, I want to make sure to thank you for your advocacy for the Equal Rights Amendment. Because of your continued dedication, we saw former President Biden affirm the legality of the 20th Amendment, and will continue to work with allies on seeing the ERA realized. I will leave you today with a call to make sure that you're signed up for our action network. We really need everyone to make sure they take those 2 minutes to contact their elected officials. We need everyone's voices here now more than ever. AAUW has been in this fight for over 140 years, and we're not backing down. We're stepping up to respond to the challenges ahead. We're steadfast in our commitment to advancing equity for women and girls, and really grateful to be in that alongside you. Our collective voice and strength as AAUW really gives me a lot of hope. So let's continue to show up for us, ourselves and our communities. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And we do appreciate hearing from National, because it obviously is important to reach out across the entire nation to get the same message for the very serious work that we have ahead of us.